My dearest brothers and sisters, this is Tunia speaking. I love you so very much. Welcome to part 3 of this series. In part 1, I argued that your society is female supremacist. In part 2, I argued that everyone already realizes that women are better in certain substantial ways, therefore to avoid female supremacism you have to acknowledge that men too are better in certain substantial ways. We'll look at 2 ways in which men are better in this part, and we'll look at 2 more ways in the final part 4. That said, we are just talking about averages here. Not all men and not all women are like this. So it's important to treat people as individuals, rather than as someone whose qualities are predetermined by their gender. That said, here's the first way in which men are better: men are on average better protectors. Other than men just being better at fighting, this is also illustrated by the fact that men are mostly anti-illegal immigration while women are often pro-illegal immigration. So, men are better protectors. This seems pretty self-evident. On to the next point: men on average care more about being logical. Women on average care more about achieving emotional goals, and logic is mostly a tool that's used to achieve emotional goals. If women must choose between being logical versus reaching emotional goals, women often prioritize their emotional goals. Examples of women's emotional goals are feeling good about myself, or feeling safe, or securing some benefit for myself, or making sure my family is doing well, or promoting the well-being of women, or helping out some other person or group in need, or protecting nature. So women's emotional goals are not necessarily selfish. In fact, they may very well be altruistic. But an issue is that women's emotions often don't consider long-term consequences or second-order effects. For example, women lobbied against nuclear energy in Germany, so Germany closed nuclear power plants. Then later Germany had to reopen coal power plants, which do more harm to nature and kill more people via air pollution. Even with that, Germany is still in economic decline, in part because it lacks cheap energy. Another issue is that women tend to be much more emotionally invested in helping women than they are emotionally invested in helping men, or even being fair towards men. So some women's emotional goals lead them to pursue anti-male pro-female discrimination. Is that logical, or beneficial in the long term? No. Is that morally correct? No. Is that nonetheless some women's emotional goal? Yes. Currently women often feel horribly unsafe, physically, financially, emotionally, socially, and so their emotional goals tend to be securing safety for women. But unfortunately, some women try to accomplish that in men bad, women good. Let's secure advantages for women and make sure that men can't harm us, ways that actually have second-order effects of making women less safe. But again, women's emotions often don't consider second-order effects. Whereas men's current problem is that they lack love, so they too are often okay with saying that men are bad and that we should discriminate in favor of women. Men hope to get love from women by acting that way. Note that most politicians are male, and yet your society blatantly discriminates against men. The result of all this is female supremacism. Many women won't agree that there's female supremacism, even though it very clearly is there. Why? Because women tend to pursue emotional goals more than they pursue logic. It doesn't fit women's emotional goals to admit that there's female supremacism, so many women don't admit it, and possibly don't even see it. To be clear though, it's not the case that women are unable to skillfully use logic. If a woman has logic on her side, she can use logic perfectly well to win an argument. It's more that for men, being logical, at least in their own minds, is an inherent need for them to have any peace of mind at all. You might disagree with men's logic, but men at least care about having a set of beliefs that in their mind is logical. Whereas women don't primarily care about being logical.